Brothers and sisters, kings and queens, sons and daughters of Mother Africa, I want to share with you, how do you see the ideas of the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, the ideas of the leader of Guinea, Mamadou Doumbouya, the ideas of the leader in Niger, Abdurrahman Chiani, the ideas of the leader in Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta, the ideas of the youngest president in Senegal, Bassirou Faye, the ideas of the youngest Pan-Africanist from South Africa, Julius Malema. Let me end here. There are so many young Pan-Africanists who have the great ideas, but today let us go with this, some of which I mentioned. You know, African, we're still lamenting that Africa, we are talking too much, or Africa, we are being exploited, our resources, without any says from our leaders. Now we found these leaders. We see what's happening in Niger. We see what's happening in Burkina Faso, where Ibrahim Traore said, Russia, now you have to build a gold refining plant here in Burkina Faso. This means that there is no more exploitation of gold minerals and other minerals from Burkina Faso. They will be exploited as a final product, not as a raw material. This is what we need to see now in Africa. Can you imagine? There are so many Africans saying that our leaders are the one who caused this to happen. In the other hand, it is true, but the problem is not a leader. The problem is a system that one we choose is found there. We choose a person who will work in the same system which outgoing leader worked on. So the problem is the system. Now we found our brothers almost under 50 years. Some of them, they understand the system. So they change the system for the benefits of Africans first. This is what we need to see. The problem is system. Now we have to choose the leaders or the persons who knows well the system, how it works. Myself, I appreciate those ideas from these brothers in different parties of Africa. I appreciate, because now what we need African to see is action, not talking anymore. We need to see an action. That's why you found French has having collision in with Niger, because the interest of French, according to them, they say is in Niger. So you can see how French minerals shift or flight or shift from French to Niamey. There is no French interest in Africa. There is no French interest in any parts of Africa. But in the other end, we see America have interest in Africa, Russia have interest in Africa, Britain, French, and other countries have interest in Africa. But we, Africa, we have no interest in our continent, in our resources. Let us now join this kind of ideas from these people I mentioned before in order to achieve the Africa we want, because what we need is an action. And happy to see these brothers now, they are taking their role. You know, our founding fathers like Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Samora Machel, Robert Mugabe, Thomas Sankara, Muammar Gaddafi, and so many leaders or our founding fathers, they take the continent of Africa in the hands of Africa. That were their role, and they did it, and they did it. So our role as we current generation is to unite the continent of Africa and Africans. This is what we need to do now. And we can't unite it if we can't own the means of production. Let us take an example. I listened many speeches from Julius Malema speaking about to occupy land without compensation in South Africa. This idea is great. This idea is powerful because you can't do anything, or you can't conduct your development issue without owning the land. And he said that if the states own the land, they will not take what's on the land. On the land will continue to be yours, but the owner of the land is we, Africans, because the land is any and everything. The minerals are found on the land, trees on the land. Even here, I'm in the building which built on the land. These development issues, these means of production, all this depends on the land. So if you don't have land, you are nothing. And you can't be respected because you have nothing. You have no property. How people can respect you? So this battle is not only for South Africa. This battle is for all continent of Africa. One day I listened to a speech from President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, said the foundation of development is unity. Not only in Rwanda, in the whole continent of Africa, the foundation of the Africa we want is unity. We can't have single currency in Africa if we are not united. We can't have these agendas to achieve the agendas to the level that we think if we are not united. The continental free trade area will not achieve to the maximum that we think if we are not united. We have this Agenda 2053. How can we reach there if we are not united? Every country in Africa has its own plans to develop individually. That is not bad, but end of the day, what we need now in Africa is the unity of this continent. We want to be united of this, of we Africans. Those who are in diaspora and in the continent of Africa. We need to have one passport which will identify you as an African, not from Tanzania or from Nigeria, from Niger, the passport of Africa. And I'm happy to see that last week we saw Zimbabwe. They have new currency which backed by God. And we see this is the first African country which its current be backed by God. But God only found in Zimbabwe? No. Almost in every country in Africa, there's God. So Africans, we need to have these kinds of ideas from the leaders of these countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Guinea, Sierra Leone, where we found First Lady there in Sierra Leone, who will speak a very powerful speech, speaking about that Africa, we are not owning our resources, and that is true. We don't have the permission to own our resources. Once you found you have gold, you black people, or you have any mineral without any document, you will speak it in another language because they didn't allow us to own our resources. So let us not wait for their permission. This is our own property. This is our own things. Let us own it. This is our property. God blessed us. And this is what's happening in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. They own their natural resources. So, brothers and sisters, the aim is not to campaign anyone, but I salute the ideas of these of my brothers from West Africa and one from southern part of Africa. I appreciate, and I think this we young we can do more than those elders, and I don't think I don't mean that they can't do. No, they can, but we can do more to reach the Africa where we want to be. So, brothers and sisters, I don't have much to speak on this. I appreciate your time watching from the beginning up to now. I appreciate two people from South Africa, people from Kenya, people from Niger, people from Libya, people from Congo, wherever you watch this video, the aim is to share thoughts, and this will help us to have the same vision of our mother continent, Africa. Thanks for watching. Please, if you didn't subscribe, now's the time. Subscribe it and turn on notification in order to get a new video once we post, once we upload, or once we keep it. Let us meet on the next episode.